Miranda's in studio today. It's actually a photo of Miranda taken from her Twitter feed. Thank you, Miranda. We appreciate you showing up. It's very generous of you. We did not add the cat to the, that's her Twitter photo. I just want you to understand. I was under the mistaken belief before the show that we photoshopped in the cat. We did not. We're not messing with the cat. That's apparently a real cat, unless she has a fake cat on her shoulder on Twitter. So, Miranda, question one in the debate. I'm assuming, based on the fact that you're a liberal and you are the smartest person in the room, where, again, if we ask you, I'm sure you'll tell us that. I'm assuming your thesis is that more guns equals more crime. Is that correct? Okay, well, no answer from Miranda, as always. But if your thesis is more guns equals more gun homicide, more crime, Miranda, then how come this chart, courtesy of AEI, shows the exact opposite? Now, Miranda, I know you are a constitutional law professor, and I understand your brilliance just radiates. But let me just walk you through how this works. You see how that chart goes? Number of privately owned guns. Watch what happens. It starts here, and it goes. In case you're missing this, the number of privately owned guns has gone up, Miranda, dramatically. The gun homicide rate, let's do this again, I'll do this slow, has gone down. So I'm assuming your theory is that more guns equals more gun crime. Okay, Miranda, how do you explain away this chart then showing that more guns has correlated with lower gun homicide? I don't hear anything. I just hear crickets. That's it. Okay, Miranda, well, again, if you ever want to come on the show and actually answer the question, we'd really appreciate that. I just heard crickets in the background. But again, you know, it's your best effort, I understand. Crickets may be better than what you would have actually said, because I promise you it would have been utterly ridiculous. All right, question number two, because I can see your response already, because you are a constitutional law professor, and of course you're brilliant. You'll say, well, what, you're not factoring in guns per person. You're just talking about the gross number of guns. All right, fair enough. So we pulled up a chart about guns per person because we figured that's what you would say, even though you never showed up to actually say it. Here is a chart, courtesy of AEI, of guns per person versus the gun homicide rate. Let's do this again, Miranda, real slow. Guns per person went up. Gun homicide rate per person down. Guns per person up. Guns per homicide rate per person down. So I'm assuming, again, your theory is more guns equals more gun homicide. But interestingly enough, more guns has equaled less gun homicide. Clearly, you don't understand correlation. Miranda, your response. All right, thank you, Miranda. Appreciate that. Again, heard nothing but crickets, of course. Miranda doesn't actually have a response. By the way, that's a really cool cricket sound. Kudos. You don't know what we went through before the show for that specific cricket sound, okay? Which is probably a lot better than the answer Miranda would have given. But she's welcome on. You're welcome if you ever want to show up. We can do this segment again. Don't you worry. You're welcome back anytime. All right. Now, Miranda, question number three in this terrific debate. I'm assuming you're going to say, well, guns are useless. I mean, they're never really used in self-defense anyway. They're nothing but dangerous. And even though you've shown me more guns equals less gun homicide, well, at least correlationally, less gun homicide as well as more guns per person, guns aren't used in self-defense that often, so why do we need them? Well, I threw up this little handy-dandy piece from a piece on my website that my resident fact checker put up. Interesting, a 1994 survey conducted by Bill Clinton's CDC found that Americans use guns to frighten away intruders who are breaking into their homes about 500,000 times a year. Miranda, how do you explain that away? Nice job, Miranda. Well done. That's a wonderful retort. You are brilliant. You are absolutely right. Thank God you teach constitutional law. What would we do without you? All right. So now I get it. This has not gone well for you, the debate. So I'm assuming now you're going to say, okay, well, what's the problem? We're just looking for reasonable gun laws, man. Common sense, right, Miranda? We're not trying to take your guns. Really? So I just took a small snippet of some articles I found, a small snippet, because we could have done this all day and we're running out of screen space, of articles by people in the liberal media, in addition, by the way, to a former Supreme Court justice we couldn't even fit into this screen, of people in the media openly calling to repeal the Second Amendment. In other words, to confiscate and take away our guns, because that's ultimately what you want. Now, Miranda, I'm assuming you have a response for this. Please, we'd love to hear it. Again? With the crickets? Nothing? You've got nothing. Nothing for us. Not a peep? Oh, Miranda, this is disappointing. You're a constitutional law professor. You try to rip people on Twitter. You're a comedian, too. I'm not making that up. It was in her bio. That's why you put that up. You claim to be a comedian. Come on, at least give us something witty. All right, I'm running out of time with you. This debate has not gone well for you at all. I'm really starting to feel for you. And, you know, I'm not the most empathetic guy here, but this has gotten ugly here. I'm sorry. I think if we had an audience like a peanut gallery, listen, I think they would have given you the big thumbs down.